guys, so another order from Cubezz, and so starting the list of cubes off, we have here a YJ Windmill, the KungFu QingHong Theory and Stickerless, and then lastly the new Thunderclap V2, which I am pretty excited to check out. So let's just get started with the YJ Windmill. And I've actually always really wanted a windmill cube. Ever since I saw the V1-2, I've always wanted it because the checkerboard pattern looked really cool to me, and so let's try that out here. Yeah, it looks really cool, like an actual windmill. And so I assume it looks pretty crazy when it's all scrambled up, but turning is really good. It's like the Fisher Cube and the Axis Cube. It feels like a higher quality Guanlong to me. It's a little bit more substantial and it turns a little bit smoother too. Yeah, and corner cutting is just great on these puzzles. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and scramble this up real quick to see how it looks. So yeah, that looks really crazy. I'm not exactly sure if this is harder than a Fisher Cube, but just for starters, it definitely does seem like it. It is just another Theory 3 shape mod, of course, but just for now, it's kind of hard to tell how the center should be oriented. And there are actually quite a few more modding variants that you could do with the Windmill Cube, but if you're not tired of those videos yet, then let me know and I'll get started on those. But if you are, then let me know as well, and I'll just stop the whole thing. But yeah, that is it for the Windmill Cube. It seems pretty cool so far. And so let's get into the WCA puzzles now. I'll get started with the KungFu 303. And now, I was kind of delaying getting this because I heard that it wasn't that great. And so I wasn't too excited for it, but after trying out the 2x2 and 4x4, I got curious. So here is the 3x3 now in Stickerless. And I'm not expecting it to be my main or anything, but given the performance on the KungFu 2x2 and 4x4, I wanted to give this thing a shot. And so turning it, it's not too bad actually. I've heard it's worse than a Yushin 3x3. People have said that it just catches a bit more and it pops for some reason. But, so far out of the box, I'm not getting any of those issues right now. Yeah, the mechanism pretty much looks like a more rounded off Yushin. This bulge is a little bit wider, a little bit more rounded. But yeah, it looks like a cross between an X-Man Tornado and a Yushin. And so far, it's nothing too extraordinary or anything that bad. It turns pretty decently, and it's a pretty average TR3. And I'm not really getting any of those catches that people have been talking about. Corner cutting is pretty good too. Tensions, I suppose they're pretty much where I would want them to be at. So yeah, it doesn't seem that bad right now. But I will set this thing up and see how it turns out after that. But if you want a review on this Theory 3 as well, then let me know and I'll work on that soon. But let's just get into the last cube of this order now, the Thunderclap V2. Now, to be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of the V1, just because it took a lot of breaking in, and even after that, it was just okay to me. It didn't really fit my turning style because it was a little bit too light and still a bit too blocky for me. But anyways, here is the box. It looks really cool, and I can tell the top is kind of a matte finish, and it has the Qiyi logo on there. And so that's definitely better than just the normal shrink wrap that people do nowadays. And so here is the V2. So right off the bat, I can tell it's a little bit more heavy. It feels a little bit more substantial. And of course those squared off corners. But let's just see how this thing turns. Wow, that is... I've heard some people say that it feels pretty much like the V1. But just from first impressions, it feels like a completely different cube to me. I think the weight mostly accounts for that. It just feels a little bit heavier, and so to me personally, it feels like just a bit more buttery smooth. But you can also hear and feel too a slight crispiness to the turning. So it's kind of like an X-Man Tornado and a Wailong and a Thunderclap to me. There are just a whole bunch of different feelings in this cube to me. But I definitely love the sticker shades. They're so distinguishable from each other and they look really cool. But yeah, this version does have the squared off corners that prevent the corner twisting, but I personally had no issue with corner twisting on the V1. But I suppose with having that implemented, it does have less risk of that happening. But so far out of the box, I actually do prefer the V2 over the V1, just because it's a little bit more substantial and it feels a little bit more controllable overall. And so it fits my turning style a bit better than the V1 did. But you know, I'll set this thing up and see how it is. But so far, I'm definitely really enjoying this cube. So that about wraps it up for this unboxing from Cubezz.com. I honestly wasn't initially excited for these puzzles, just because I haven't heard quite amazing things about the 3x3s, but you know, after playing with them a bit more, I'm definitely excited to see how they perform to their full potential. And if you want any follow-up videos or reviews for that matter, then let me know in the comments. But I hope you guys did enjoy this unboxing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.